Hello everyone and welcome to the video where I'm going to explain what I think you should be doing to blunder less at chess. Now, if you look at this topic online, you're going to hear a lot about following a long and rigid checklist of things that you need to basically check before you make every move. And while I think this is great advice for longer time control games, such as 60 minutes or longer, I just don't think it works for rapid games, or at least hasn't worked for me. So I've tried it, and basically what is going to happen, you're going to end up losing in time way more often than you used to because of blunders that you used to make, okay? And so to give you some more context, in a 10-minute game with 40 moves, you have 15 seconds to make every move. And as you can imagine, those 15 seconds are not a lot of time. And if you think you need to find the candidate moves, calculate those candidate moves, and then follow that long list, you're just going to run out of time and basically end up losing because of time, or even making more blunders because you're running out of time and you need to make quick moves, okay? So instead, I think you need to do something that is more flexible, okay? And so I've been looking at my own games from when I was 7 to 800 in chess.com versus now that I'm at 1500. And don't get me wrong, I still make blunders, but I've realized I make way less blunders. But I was trying to identify why. What have I improved? What have I done to blunder way less? And I think it just boils down to three things: thinking process, time management, and pattern recognition, okay? So if we start with the first one, you need a thinking process for rapid games that is flexible, that is short, basically an algorithm that is going to allow you to spot the right things and not blunder nearly as much, okay? And so my suggestion is two things. It's a thinking process that has two things, so hopefully something that you can implement for every single move, okay? First thing that you need to do is always check when your opponent makes a move, what is your opponent trying to do with that move? That is something that you cannot escape. And something that, to be fair, in the past I didn't used to do. I used to focus on just doing my own thing, my tactic, and then obviously that led to blundering way more. So something you need to always do. And then the next thing is, once you have identified the move that you want to make, before you make that move, you ask the question: what is my opponent going to do as a response? What is the most likely response my opponent is gonna do as a when I make this move? And so what you're trying to find in here is, is your move a blunder, right? And you can be checking a lot of things, but I think this simple question will help you, because you will identify simple things. Okay, I'm gonna make this move. You ask the question and say, oh, what my opponent is gonna do is take the piece because I'm hanging this piece, or he's gonna checkmate it because I can see I have missed this thing. So this is the two things I think you need to always be doing for every single move. Now, the second concept that is very related to this one is time management. And I think time management is a key component of blundering. If you don't manage efficiently your time, you're going to either run out of time and then having at the end to kind of move very quickly and then not checking and everything and just blundering, or just making quick moves where you should be actually double checking because there's a risk. So this is something very important. And so while this video is not about time management, I'm just going to give you a quick point of view that hopefully will help you in how you look at this. So for me, time management is about in every position in a game, in every move, I'm always thinking, is this a move where I need to spend time checking and finding the right move, or is this a part of the game where I can move more quickly? So in other words, is this a critical position? And a critical position, by critical position I mean, do you sense a danger in the position, or do you sense there is an opportunity for you to make a very good move and get a great advantage, right? So that is what it means, okay? So yeah, very important that you are always looking for analyzing, is this a critical position or is something that you can move quickly? And I think one advice on that is knowing your opponents, okay? And depends on your rating. If you are lower rated, you might not know many opponents, so your opening at all, and you're just working by opening principles. But knowing your opening means that you can just blitz out those moves. You know they're going to be correct. You know that there is no danger, or you know the danger that there is in that position, and just move quickly and and gain time in that. So that's what I do. I tend to try to know my opponent fairly well. So with my prep, I can move quickly. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. Now, let me show you a game so you can get a sense of how I manage my time. What is my thinking process? And so these two concepts come together to hopefully illustrate what I mean. Okay, so let's go. So I know my opening. I know all this move. This is prep. So you can see, if you look at the time, I spent 2 seconds on the first few moves. Still 2 seconds, a little bit more now. And here is where I'm starting to be out of my prep. But I know ideas. I know getting E5 is important to get some stand in the center. I know my light square bishop is my bad bishop in this position, so I exchange it. I'm fine. And in here is what when I'm just completely out of preparation, and I sense something. I think this might be a critical position if I make a mistake. Okay. And that's because of my pattern recognition. I can clearly see all the things that are happening in here, and so I think, okay, I need to spend time. I cannot keep blitzing move, and so I go from going 1,000 miles per hour to actually put a bit of brakes and say, okay, my knight is attacked several times, and there is a risk of getting checkmate in here. And again, I'm showing you these. Don't get too hung up and whether I'm making the right move or not, but more so my thinking process of how I'm trying to all the time identify where to stop and when to go fast in my moves. So then here, take a few seconds, and I think I'm making an okay move. I block the checkmate in here. Then my opponent does this, and I'm going through the process of every single time my opponent moves, other than the opening, I'm starting to think, okay, what is he trying to do? Here I don't have to spend a lot of time because I'm quickly identify he's just trying to develop to castle, so I don't have to think too much, and so I just make a quick move. Now my opponent goes here, and I say, okay, what's he trying to do? And I can quickly see he's attacking 2 pieces. Will be annoying to lose the bishop. That's my better bishop. And also, if he takes in here, he takes back and he ruins my structure. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's a bit annoying. So I take a little bit more time to think in here and just make this move, which I think it makes some sense. Now in here, I foresee that that was a move for him to put more pressure here, and I knew that I have the chance of reinforcing my knight with this, so I didn't take too long, and then he castles. And then here I actually spent a fair bit of time. Why am I spending a fair bit of time? Because I followed the process, I saw what he was doing, didn't have to check on that, but I was wanting to castle, but before I was going to castle, I was checking, what can my opponent do? What is the danger? What is he likely going to do? And I knew that he was going to start throwing things in here. There is a danger of this, so there's a lot of going on. But I wanted to castle this way, because I wanted to put my king castle before I can start perhaps launching an attack in here. But I wanted to check that, and after a few seconds, I spent about 30 seconds. I determined, okay, I don't know, might be wrong decision, but I identified at that point that it was okay for me to castle. And I knew he was going to start attacking me all the pawns. And then I quickly moved in this because I knew my idea from spending time when I was trying to castle in here. But also I knew this was a bit of a tactic. I was hoping for my opponent not to do the same process I do, which is every single time I can make a move asking what I'm trying to do. And I think he failed to do that. And then when he makes the move, he has he hasn't realized I'm trapping his bishop, which means I'm now take the bishop and I have a clear advantage. Now, don't get me wrong, there is still a lot of opportunities for me to go wrong. There's a lot of double attacks. Then if I take with this, that he takes my queen. There's still, I think, going on that I need to check, but just wanted to give you a sense of my thinking process. Okay, so that is in reference to the 2 parts that are very key to blundering less. Now, the final part is pattern recognition, which I think is something that, while I can take you through all the patterns that exist in chess in this video, one thing is knowing them, and one thing is actually being quick at spotting them in your games, and that's something is a muscle that you need to train. Sorry, there is not a quick answer for that. Now I'm gonna tell you what I would do and what I've done, and I think has helped, which is doing puzzles, but not just doing any puzzle and every puzzle, right? I'm going to tell you how I'm looking at this. So let's switch the view. So if you go to chess.com and you go to puzzles, what I suggest to do is to go to custom puzzles. And for some reason you cannot fully see. Let me see if I make it smaller. There you go. You should start to see. So when you go to custom puzzles, this is exactly what I want you to look at. Okay. So in the video description, I'm going to put what I think are the patterns or type of puzzles that lead to blundering the most. So I'm just going to put a list. And so what I think you should be doing is going and doing one by one. So one of them is going to be, there is a very good one, which is hanging pieces. Super easy puzzles, right? But I think it's not about how easy it is. It's about just getting ingrained, really recognizing, those patterns. And so just don't put it too high. I would put it in a comfortable rating range and give you between 30 seconds to 1 minute to the puzzles, no more. This can be very difficult puzzles. There should be puzzles that you do quickly. And so do that one. And then another one is going to be Fianchetto. And so you do one by one. And then once you've done all of them, let's say at least 20 puzzles of each, then you start to mix them up and you can do both at the same time. Fianchetto and hanging piece, so you don't know when you're going to be given a piece that is hanging, or you're going to be given an opportunity to win material or something with a Fianchetto. And so you need to know what you've trained you spotting them. So I think this is very useful. I certainly done this with some of my some of the things that I never spotted, like en passant is something that I used to just miss all the time, and I now spot it all the time because I've done tons of en passant puzzles, and just in my head I just check instantly, and that's the difference between me telling you to check for it versus actually practicing. So this is the three things. If I'm just going to recap the three things that I think it boils down to when you want to blunder less, which is thinking process, time management, and pattern recognition. The first two, do and practice what I said at the beginning, and the third one, you just need to do a fair bit amount of puzzles with things that I put in the description. But that is all for today. I hope that was useful, and catch you soon. Thank you very much.